Okay, good morning, folks. Welcome to Swing Trading Today, 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, November the 12th. I can't believe we're almost halfway through this month already. It's crazy. Taking a quick peek at economic data. Going into the week, I knew there wasn't going to be much, but we do, especially with Veterans Day yesterday, but we do have the weekly jobless claims this week. We can't ignore that. That has been very, very important. I'll tell you, folks, the call for new lockdowns. I live in New York. They have already begun. They want curfews now on bars, restaurants. New Jersey, very similar, despite the fact that hospitalizations and the death rate has not climbed. They're going to do it again. I can't say much about it because the folks that I'd like you to smash that like button for, they scrape these videos, and now what they're doing is they're suppressing distribution. So it's crazy. It's totally dystopian. Totally dystopian. But anyway, the initial jobless claims coming out today, very important. We also have at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, CPI. That's the Consumer Price Index. So watch the dollar, watch bonds to see how they react. What else do we have? 11:45. We have Fed heads coming out. Jay Powell, the king of Fed heads, coming out. Let's see what type of market manipulation they'll pull today. Tomorrow we have the PPI. That's the Producer Price Index, the measure of inflation at the producer level. And then we have at 10 a.m. tomorrow, consumer sentiment. So these next couple of days are going to be heavy with regards to economic data. So expect a bit of volatility in pricing. Good morning, Kat. Look at this. I have 3 likes already. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Very generous. So keep an eye on economic data this morning and tomorrow. Before we go into the commentary and the pre-market futures, I just want to remind everybody, I haven't seen a deal like this in a while, ever, I should say. TrendSpider, now it's today 59% off. Tomorrow it goes to 58%. I'm going to drop this link in. Where is... Excuse me, folks. I have those morning sniffles. RL, good morning. See, I can see you there. Let me drop the link in. I have a guy working on the 5 most powerful candlesticks. Apparently, that link no longer works. We're migrating over to a different platform. So more to come on that. That link is not going to work today. That'll be fixed tomorrow. Or later today will be fixed for those folks out there that just watched me for the first time. All right, so that's my TrendSpider spiel. Let's go to the pre-markets. All right, so Rocket Mortgage, we're long of. We added more to yesterday. They reported good earnings. They reported a buyback. Shares are not behaving well on really good news. Revenue growth like 163% year over year. And the shares are weak this morning. And they're trading down below a support level. So we'll give it a little bit of room. I wouldn't go adding more in any pullback. I want to only add more on a breakout. That's it. Now, this has got to be on light volume because I already saw that bond yields. Well, what kind of volume are we dealing with here? Yeah, shy of 2,800 shares. Bond yields are pulling back today as bond prices catch a bid. That should help the shares of Rocket Mortgage. Let's go to the futures for the dollar. All right, so the dollar is not looking good. I warned about this last night on Market Wrap. Cat, silver is misbehaving again. Yes. Oil surprised me. Yeah, oil's been really, really volatile. Up several points one day. We'll go to that chart in a moment. I'd like to see where it's at. Greetings from a very wet Tampa. Yeah, it seems like the entire country's getting drenched today. The dollar, very weak. I warned last night on Market Wrap that I think that we're seeing right now the calm before the storm on the U.S. dollar. And that's why I'm showing some patience with our gold mining trade. I haven't added more to our silver trade given the volatility that Kat just aptly pointed out. But there's going to come a point in time, probably after Christmas or around Christmas, that we begin buying silver, gold in earnest due to the fact that seasonality going into January is extremely good relative to October, November, December. We're in a seasonally weak period of time. So seasonality definitely having an impact this year on those names, despite the fact that the dollar has been lethargic. So the dollar attempted to break out. This is a 4-hour chart. These are all before-hour charts. Attempted to break out, was rejected at the 93.20 mark, rolled over, now trying to hold on to 92.83. If it breaks, you're going to see a bid under silver and gold, and most likely the entire commodity complex. So that's why we're remaining long of energy. We're remaining long of the cyclicals. I do have my concerns, though. They're not without merit, those concerns. A threat of a lockdown is extremely, a national lockdown is extremely concerning to me. I don't like what I'm hearing so far. And it's already begun here in New York and New Jersey, effective Friday night. Let's take a look at the Russell. It's down about a 0.5 percentage point, holding gains though. And I'll give you my thought on, I know I'm going to get banned on this video. I know it. Not banned, they're going to suppress it. The NASDAQ 100. Yeah, so this is my point here. Let's bring up the Dow. Forget about the S&P 500. It's being influenced by the NASDAQ 100. Where's the Dow? Here we go. So look at how the Dow is down over a 0.5 percentage point. Yes, it's had a very nice run. Yes, due for a pause, acknowledged. But this is day 2 now of price action that we saw very similar back during the heyday of the CCP virus. And when you take a look at the NASDAQ 100, which are up, what's in this bucket? You have your Zooms. You have your, and I'm not saying Zoom is a NASDAQ 100 stock. It may not be. I'm not even sure. Microsoft, Amazon. All these names that benefit from people staying home are in this bucket. Well, many of them, I should say. Not all of them. Many of them. Enough to drive it up higher. What is weak? Due to the threat of looming shutdowns. Cyclical names. Let's see what energy is doing today. Energy down. at least yesterday. Maybe it'll catch a bid today. But I'm concerned that we're going to see this trend develop into a more concerning one. And if they do it, I've already shown you charts of Microsoft. I mentioned that I thought it would break down. I'll tell you, I'm going to be looking to, as we segue into, as we have clarity on who will be the president. And if it's the current one, I'm afraid to say his name, the one from Delaware, then we're going to be looking to short the market in earnest if there is a threat. If there is a threat and they follow through on shutdown of this country. Got to short it. Because I just don't know how the Federal Reserve props this thing up. You're seeing layoffs resume and build. They're going to wait. Many companies are not going to lay off in advance of Thanksgiving and in front of Christmas. That news they'll wait for after the new year. So I'm very concerned if they follow through with this lockdown, companies begin to do more layoffs. They're predicting 10% layoffs in financial sector names into the new year. Very concerned about this market. I don't know who's going to buy Zoom subscriptions. They're going to be less people. So, concerned. Larry, good morning to you. I'm becoming friends with Goog. Would like to get a better price than today. We'll take a look at it for you. Vancouver is being locked down again. Toronto never even opened. Manitoba locked down. Most of Europe. Yeah, and you're seeing a lot of societal unrest as well, especially, I'm not sure about Canada. You guys are pretty nice up there, but over in Europe, certainly you're seeing a lot of societal unrest. People are no longer thinking about, they're no longer forward looking. They're living day to day. I mean, people are becoming depressed and suspect, very, very suspect. Do you think that Zoom will fill the upside gap? I looked at the chart yesterday, and we'll go back to it. I'm not sure off the top of my head where that gap is, but we'll take a look at it for you, Kat. All right, let's. So long story short, folks, if we continue to see what I believe is unfold, we're going to be looking to heavily short the market into the new year. You know, right now we're moving into a seasonally favorable period of time. I'm reluctant to do that at current. We do have a short hedge on, just in case we wake up one morning and we have futures that are just dropping like a stone. Copper prices showing signs of strength here this morning. This is actually a powerful chart. Cup, handle formation. I want to set up an alert here. And this is our canary in the coal mine for growth, global growth anyway. I want to take a quick peek at crude prices. Crude down slightly. It's had a heck of a month so far. I mean, we saw some real serious volatility in here, and it's holding gains. I think we're stair-stepping higher still. On oil. And we should press up higher here. Again, though, the problem is, of course, these lockdowns, which apparently I can't find anybody in the scientific community who says they're a good thing, but apparently the politicians pulled their degree out for virology out of a Cracker Jack box, and they're going to go for it. Palladium up. This is interesting. Platinum looking interesting. Let's go to a daily chart. This is pretty noisy. Yeah, let's clean this off. All right, so what I'm eyeballing here is a very nice cup handle formation. Here's our current downward sloping handle. We're looking for a breakout above, I'd be good at with 900, 910 on platinum futures. And then I think we're just going to go ripping up. I don't know what type of seasonality we have here on platinum, but the setup is looking very good. So this is one that we're going to be watching as a potential long trade. And it's up 0.5%. Did I go over gold yet? Bitcoin. Oh, Bitcoin looking really good this morning. Let's go to a 4-hour chart. All right, it's coming off of its highs a little bit here. I think we're going higher. Nice breakout, consolidation, continuation breakout on Bitcoin. Watch the CPI data. We know from our analysis in the past, CPI, as it moves higher, Bitcoin moves along with it. If we see deflationary results, expect a pullback on Bitcoin. Gold, right, it is up this morning. Hanging on by a thread to support. Let's do some chart requests. We'll go to about 7:30 this morning. Oh, wrong button. Who's that guy? Okay, SPR. This is for David's got 2, Roger's got 2, Cena's got 1. Actually, no, Cena, that was yesterday. Okay, I need to go over 4 here. SPR. All right, Spirit. This is a cyclical play. The danger here is, again, with the threat of more shutdowns. I live in an area where, Kat, exactly, Bob. Vancouver having protests against the quality of testing kits, CRS, testing kits 50 to 90%. Really? 50 to 90% false positive? Wow. So 50 to, let me just so I understand this, Kat. 50 to 90% of the people that have these tests and prove positive really don't have COVID? Is that accurate? I have to wait for her response because there's a 30-second delay between when I speak and when you guys hear it. All right, I'm going to go back to Spirit. All right, so Spirit Airlines monthly chart, we have a major breakout here. So, when there are tales of 2 tapes, right? The tale of one tape is rhetoric and Cat. We may have some sort of COVID that can be picked up. Great. Thanks, Kat. Appreciate that. We have a tale of two tapes. We have rhetoric that's being pushed by politicians at current who are not necessarily in office. Maybe when they get in office, things will change. I don't know. There are some nefarious SOBs. What the charts are telling us is a different narrative. The narrative that the charts are telling us on Spirit Airlines or Aerosystems is that it wants to break, not that it wants to break out. It has broken out. So this is a monthly time frame chart. We have a W formation formed and we have a confirmation candlestick, whereas we have broken out. The one assumption that we need to make at current is that we're going to close above this resistance level at 25 bucks a share. We still have a lot of time left in this month. So maybe it will, maybe it won't. But at current, as of the time of this date stamped, 11/12/20, it looks as though we are breaking out, and it's a very bullish candlestick. Yes, we faded a bit on the month, but we've come a long way in a very short amount of time. It's expected. It got ahead of itself. Now it's pulling back. I'm sure it'll be reflected on the daily chart. We'll talk about that in a moment. Monthly time frame. Before we leave here, RSI validating the move higher. Weekly chart. So we don't even need to go to the daily chart, but we will. It got ahead of itself. Look at where we're trading still at current on the week. We're trading above the third standard deviation Bollinger Band on a weekly time frame. Not familiar with the third standard deviation Bollinger Band? Don't worry about it. We're not supposed to be there. So expect a pause. It's natural. It's healthy. If you're buying stocks when they're trading above the third standard deviation Bollinger Band, you're making a bad move. You're bound to get burned. So expect more of a pullback here. The froth needs to come off here. Perhaps we'll close out the week above this Bollinger Band in red. Next week we open up. We consolidate sideways. No major pullback. That can happen as well. As long as we hold this lower band of support. In fact, what we'll do here, because I like the chart, we'll touch, set an alert, touch, bounce, leave a little bit of sensitivity. Hourly setup. Jesus Christ. Sorry, folks. Using my home row keys today is not working out for me. I learned typing in high school. I thought it was an easy credit to get. I fell in love with my teacher, Miss Jackson. So, Miss Jackson, if somehow or other you're out there listening, thank you for all you taught me. Okay. We have our alert set here. RSI is breaking out as well. We drew these lines manually months ago. Not months ago, weeks ago, I should say. No resistance levels above. Daily chart. All right, so we're probably going to pull back here. I think that our alert is going to trigger off. We had an inside day yesterday. These long red candlesticks rarely come in single doses. They usually come in pairs to 3 in a series. So I would expect more of a pullback here, probably down to 26 to 25 bucks a share, and then watch for a reversal bar. So no rush to get involved here. Wait for the pullback. It'll come to you. Cat suggests we have common sort of COVID, even on a common cold. Make it picked up. Yeah, they need to straighten this out. It's far too nefarious. I think there's a tremendous amount of cynicism that's being built up in the populace, and these guys, I think they're playing with fire. To be honest with you. All right, next chart up, Trillium. Monthly chart, Trillium Therapeutic. I already like it. So this stock was in fuego. Thank you, Cap. This stock was in fuego. And what do? We drop down into a consolidation range. We have a triangle formation forming here. I think that, well, you know what? I'm going to wait before I give an opinion on this. We have a couple of different time frames that we want to look at in addition. But on the face of it, from a monthly time frame, it's looking very bullish. That is wrong. RSI, very strong, along with price, which is consolidating week. Oh, this is nice. This is very, very nice. So we are in a very tight wedge formation, triangle formation. I don't care if you call it with square, with pink polka dots. It doesn't matter. It's just a label. It's a tight consolidation, looking good. We're trading back above its 20-period moving average. We bounced off the lower band of support here. I think this could be bought with a stop right below the week's lows. I would like to see RSI weekly time frame. Oh, it already has broken out. Scratch that. We've already broken out. So we're beginning to break out to, I shouldn't say to new higher highs. We're not doing that yet. We've broken out above a downtrend line. And I think that we're probably going to gain strength here on TRIL. Daily chart. So we popped up higher yesterday. A little bit of topping action. But still, I think the wind is at its back. Let's just take a quick look and see what Stokes are doing. Yeah. RSI, very favorable. Nice cup, pullback handle, continuation breakout, daily time frame. Higher lows on price. Stokes, look what they did. They went above 50, pulled back, retested 50, they're moving up higher. The stock's going up higher. I like it a lot. So TRIL, a buy, in my humble opinion. Zoom. Okay. So the question is, are we going to fill the gap? All right, so we have new monthly lows. We're off the lows of the month. Monthly chart, not a lot of data here. RSI is very, very weak. You know, we were looking back here earlier in the month for a W formation off of 65.26. It didn't happen. We broke down to a new lower low. So our downtrend is being validated here. You know, I don't see a compelling reason to go buying it on a monthly or a weekly time frame. The only thing that is positive for the shares right now is the threat of new lockdowns globally. It's hard to draw a conclusion here. Long story short, would I buy or sell it? And will it fill the gap? I think it's probably going to pop up higher, and yes, it's probably going to fill the gap. Here's the gap that opened up. The bottom of that gap is going to be at, what's the low? 482.73. We closed out the day at 413.34. You know, the only reason why I'm saying right now that it's a probable buy is only because it became oversold relative to its third standard deviation Bollinger Band, and it wasn't going to last. We should expect a counter trend rally. Now, in the back of my mind, if they continue to break down, it's going to be wind at the back of Zoom. If the threat of more lockdowns is abated, then I would get very concerned about Zoom pressing up higher. So I would keep an ear out for the news and watch for topping action. I like the Stokes. Stokes are probably going to put in a higher low here, which is good. Similar to what we saw back here. I don't think it's a great setup, but I think that ultimately, given the news and the fact that we have sold off quite a bit, that we probably are going to rally back here. And if we don't fill the gap, at least up into the 50-period moving average, which is currently at 467.21. So those are the two price points I'd be looking at. The filling of the gap, 50-day moving average, number 2. Volume was very good yesterday. Indicators are looking good. Price a little bit sketchy. All right, what else do we have here? Fiber. I'm going to take that one from Larry, and that'll be the day. Yeah, you know what? Here, I think he's getting it from this guy here. Yeah. This is. I think we're getting a news source from the same place. I don't know what his qualifications are. You know, they had him down as serving as a director for Center of Infectious Disease. You don't know if he was you don't know what his background is. You have the guy in charge of the WHO who doesn't. He's not even a real doctor. So Lord knows who these people are that we're listening to. Okay, Fiverr. Lots of topping action here on a monthly time frame. And we did put in a new monthly low. Also, though, we put in a new monthly high, to be fair. Weekly chart. That's sloppy. All right, so we broke out last week, pulled back near retest this week. It's kind of in no man's land. We have RSI breaking down. I'm not seeing a great entry point here yet. Yesterday we bounced back. One day does not make a trend. I think what I need to see here is a pullback to higher lows, and then a move up higher. I mean, right now, I don't trust these oversold bounces. I really like to see a higher low get put in and then a continuation move up higher. That's validation by the market that the price action is beginning to change here some. Now, the 4-hour chart, we closed out the day yesterday fairly bullish. I would watch the 161.80 mark. If we manage to, I'm assuming that this is going to be a swing trade, short-term swing trade, that if we break above 161.80, do a retest of it, that would be tempting as a long entry point, or on an orderly pullback to say 148 per share. In that ballpark, maybe be able to move that up a little bit to 149, 150 per share. Wait for that pullback. Wait for a higher low. I don't see, unless we break out, consolidate along 161.80, I don't see a real major need to go buying these shares right now because you're buying technically at resistance. Let me see if I'm missing anything on another. Yeah, and while yes, we had great price action yesterday, Stokes are weak and getting weaker. Anybody that knows me and knows when I look at Stokes, the way I use them is not necessarily overbought, oversold. It's when I see these Stokes trading down below the 50 mark and they are declining, I pull out my old adage, rallies tend to fade. So be very careful. They'll probably gap this up higher, but pay attention. These Stokes are implying that the shares are losing momentum, and they're losing momentum very, very quickly. Yes, big rally yesterday. One day does not make a trend. I'd be very careful here. To me, this is the gig economy play coming back for the lockdowns. All right, Google. Nice breakout monthly time frame. Very nice. You had roughly 3.5 months of consolidation, setting up a very powerful base. A bit extended relative to the third standard deviation Bollinger Band. We're backing off a little bit here. No great shock. A lot of volatility in here. A lot of volatility. Undercut low, new high, undercut low. Be careful. I see volatility like this, it makes me nervous. It's unnatural to do that. Might we just simply be consolidating? Sure. Before I added more, I'd wait for a breakout. I tighten up stops. If you're long, you've enjoyed this rally up higher. You break down to new lower lows below the lows of the 10th. Then I would look to exit the trade. Wait for filling of the gap down at 16.50, Perhaps it'll fill that gap and it'll move up higher. Let's go over to look at all this. These are all indecision bars. We got extended relative to the third standard deviation Bollinger Band on the 4th. Filled candlestick 1, hollow candlestick 1, filled candlestick 2, hollow. This is a lot of indecision here. These are traders saying, I don't know where to go here. And when you get this, it normally doesn't end well. You saw it back here, filled candlestick 1, filled candlestick 2, breakdown. Back here, hollow, filled, breakdown. Be careful. There's a lot of indecision. Stokes still look good. RSI still looks good. But price matters most, along with volume. And volume yesterday dropped off a cliff. MACD histogram losing momentum. I would not initiate a new trade here, and I would tighten up stops. We'll leave off with RL's mRNA. Moderna. Oh. It's leaning into its third standard deviation Bollinger Band, but I think it's going up higher. We have higher lows on price. We've broken out of a consolidation range. I don't know what the short interest is here. There's your breakout. On volume, no less. RSI is looking good. Stokes looking good. I think that Moderna is moving up higher. Yeah, no doubt about it. It's going up higher. Higher lows, breakout on a daily time frame, weekly time frame. Very bullish. And with that, folks, I'm going to say everybody have a profitable trading day. Remember, tonight is Thursday Night Stock Charts Live, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until then, have a profitable day. Be well.